Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading is for Thursday, December 17th, 2020. And as usual, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chrisanne. And so 3 cards to see whatever it is that we need to know to help heal our souls and return back to who we truly are. Okay. So we have the world reversed as the theme. So there's just a little bit of, there's something that's not complete that's going to be showing up probably this day. Or again, if this is a timeless message, as I always intend, then we're working on a deeper soul level to help us come back home, really. I mean, that's truly what this card is about. Straight up, of course, it's the last of the major arcana cards, which is, each arcana card I look at as being a gateway into a new level of consciousness. And with the world, there's completion on some level. You've come full circle. It's one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. It has to do with success and achievements, and sometimes travel. But celebration. Now, when it comes to reverse, there's something that's not finished yet, and that's okay. Sometimes it's about not having closure. Sometimes it's just a simple delay. And especially when we're reading daily cards, if you guys are doing daily readings for yourself, you lessen the intensity as to the meaning of the card. And that's because, it's just a daily. But if you continue to get the same card like 2 or 3 days in a row, or 3 times, in the same week, you get the same cards, then you're working on something big. So, back into the with the World card reversed, like I said, sometimes there's a lack of closure, but on a spiritual level. Let's go over the mundane things first of all. So on the mundane level, it can be, like I said, lack of closure, delays, travel plans, issues, things like that. And, just some kind of like disharmony or any level of incompletion. And that's okay. But now if we go to a spiritual level with it, well, then that brings us into the place where, are we limiting ourselves? That's the question. Are you feeling like you've made mistakes in the past? And if that's the case, I want you to know that mistakes are just like a do-over. They're just learning lessons. They're not really true mistakes. It's like a mistake. So you just do another take. Like imagine actors where they get so many takes until they do get it right. You just imagine it that way, because that is the truth. There's no real harshness that you need to be, bringing down on yourself ever. So, but when it comes to reverse, it's, one of the main messages is to open up and expand your horizons. And especially on the level of awareness, and because when this card is straight up, you can be communicating with the universe. Even though it just says the World card, this very well could be looked at as the universe card. And, to find your inner communication with the universe, which is through your higher self, through your body, through everything that comes towards you, to know that we're always magnetizing whatever it is that we need to work on. And we may never be done with that while we're in our bodies, right? I mean, there's that possibility. So especially when this card comes through, it's about not looking to the outer world, but to look to your inner world. So just think inner world. And that is especially true when maybe we've had an offer in the past, because oftentimes with the Knight of Cups reversed, we've it could be that there's been an offer and it hasn't turned out to work well for us. It can be that place where you got an offer you didn't really want, right? I mean, that's very, very possible. And it could be that it was someone who was very unethical. This card can often be, and it doesn't have to be a man. It can be, you can see this is a man here. And you can see that there was like a romantic, offer, usually, because the cups are often about relationships. So it's very possible that that something came through, but then later on you realized, oh God, this guy isn't at all he's professed himself to be. It's a message that you have to trust your inner guidance. Go back to how you felt, what maybe was coming up inside that could have warned you, and like little yellow or orange or red flags, and maybe you let it go. And just to be careful, because these are, when the Knight of Cups comes in reverse, these are like people that are users. They're sometimes bribers and like blackmailers and predators. I mean, in the worst sense of the word. So you have to be careful. And the problem with these guys is that they'll use they'll use their charm on you. It can be really, disappointing. These are like cheaters, and if it's not a love relationship, it could be a friendship, but there's, some disappointment and heartbreak and cheating and deception that comes through, and sometimes just bad news. It could be someone else's relationship and it's bad news, but it's someone that you really love and care about, that is telling you like what's gone on for them, and maybe you're having to hold space for them to help them heal, which would be very, very beautiful. Now, if we combine all this with the Page of Wands, well, you can see when this card's straight up, there's a lot of exuberance, a lot of energy, a lot of, that beautiful place of putting yourself out there and in having the courage, to go after your dreams, to go after what you want. It's usually really optimistic, and it can often be about a new project. And so when it comes through reversed, of course, you could be feeling like you don't have enough energy. And it could be because of some relationship that is like, drained you a little bit. So, if that's the case, take heart and give yourself the time to heal. The other message that may be coming through when the Page of Wands is reversed is to not do anything, to just don't act. Of course, don't be pessimistic with yourself. Don't get down on yourself as if any of this is your fault. But just don't respond is what I keep getting with this. If there's somebody who's been deceptive or cheating or has used you in the past, don't respond. Just let it go. Whatever you have to do to get that out of your life. And then from there you'll turn your world right back side up. Right back up. But meanwhile, use the time whenever this happens, and this happens to all of us. There's no one who has gone through life as an adult who hasn't had this situation. But so when it happens, the message, the clear message, the guidance I'm getting here is to honor the place where you most likely did get some guidance. Either something was tugging at your tummy, or your BS meter went something popped up at some point. The hair went up on the back of your neck. You suddenly got protective or angry. And that was your guidance. That was your guidance. And I don't know what happened to override it. But go back to where you remembered that, and so you can have that next time, because that's how your guidance system works. Now, everybody's works differently. Some people will hear, some people will feel and hear, some people will just have a direct knowing, some people will have, visions or an image. Some people will have, especially empaths will have like sensory feelings, around the person that they're connecting with, that can be like, like really heavy energy or a thick energy, like you can't really get through, or something's following them around and every time you're with them you feel it, or you hug them and you feel like a wall between your heart and theirs, or just an unease, a place where you can't really settle and rest. Or oftentimes, after you're with people like this, you're completely drained and you're just exhausted. So those are the times where we need to like regroup, bring ourselves back inside of ourselves, bring all of our energy back into ourselves. Like I said, don't respond, and figure out what it is inside of you that attracted it. Because sometimes it's just, I've had these situations happen before where it was just a message to see how my body responded around different people. And then it wasn't until like months later I realized like how dark the person was. Even though I didn't have a personal relationship with them, but somebody else in my family did. And then, the truth comes out later. And it's like, oh, no wonder, like it was just a complete body response. And then other times people will just get that little message of, nah, I don't know, like, or maybe you'll hear like an animal, like ducks quacking or something. Like if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's, what I mean, like that kind of thing. Your inner guidance, your message system will have its own unique way of operating, but it's always trying to get through. Always trying to get through. And our task is to not respond, but listen to it. Like this could be the outer stimulus where something's not trustworthy, and you have your inner guidance. And then what you need to do, the next step is to not respond, because you need to go back here and understand what the message is. So don't avoid the message. Don't run away from it. Don't push it away. Don't ignore it in any way, shape, or form. It's straight up beautiful guidance. And when those times happen, don't let yourself get too busy and blow it off. Or don't let the other person, tell you, oh, don't worry, it's okay. Or don't let anybody, like put down or take you away from whatever that guidance is that's coming through. It's your inner guidance, and it's there for a really good reason, even though you don't know all the details yet. So, yeah, and if any of these things have happened to you guys, I welcome, comments. Let me know how that was for you, because it's really interesting the way guidance works. Sometimes it's like pulling up to a car in front of you, and they've got a personalized license plate, and there it is. Like what does that license plate say? Like that can be guidance. Other times it'll come through songs, and I remember having a period of like 3 or 4 years where I decided not to listen to music anymore because I would get songs stuck in my head, and I wanted to open up to guidance. So I literally went about 4 years, actually. I think it's from like 94 to 98, not listening to the news, not listening to music, except for, because I did body work at the time, I, like angel music and very ethereal music, but nothing with words, nothing with lyrics. And I had a period of having guidance come through constantly through lyrics. songs I've never heard of before, some songs like from way back when, and it would just be like one line. And then I would Google to get the lyrics and try and figure out, or just search online, which I don't know if Google was even there at that point, but it was one of those things where you could go to like lyrics.com or whatever. Like that was like later on. It opened up during those 4 years for me, and then I would always pay attention to the song lyrics, or the guidance that would come through in songs after that. And then Googling lyrics turned out to be good to get the song and understand a little bit more, but it always turned out to be like just that one line. But it did lead me towards, some beautiful music for later on. But anyway, so yeah, so song lyrics, cliches. You can also hear book titles sometimes. I mean, we've all heard about those stories of walking through a bookstore and a book falling down off the shelf. Those things happen. Or feeling like warm, fuzzy energy down one aisle, and it's like, oh, that's the one to go towards, and what's down there, like that kind of thing. Or the feelings you get when you drive through different areas in your car. It's like you can pick up on the consciousness of the area. Like, oh my goodness, like when I lived in Southern California, if I ever had to get over the hill from like, the Ventura area and go through Simi Valley, it would just be like the most frenetic energy. The whole valley in Simi Valley, I would just be like, what? I'd have to make sure I didn't drive too fast because everybody else was kind of going crazy. But anyway, so yeah, you can pick up on different things like that. It's like a sensory input. So pay attention to all those things. That's how you develop your guidance and learn to trust yourself. But you definitely have to slow down, come inside, and then you can heal the past. Okay, well, I'm done with this reading. I don't see anything else I can say, actually. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well, and you take good care, and bye for now.